Who can it be now?
It's been about a month and a half. Man, actually,
For fuck's sake, Cat.
I've done nothing. No,
Hey.
I've
Hey, check it out. I just got another string of messages because somebody just watched the movie. Goddamn. The last 5 days of my life have been nothing but talking about this movie. But,
Yeah, I bet.
But before we actually get to talking about that movie, what have we done since the last time we were here?
Well, first off, guys, welcome back to the Rektfast Club podcast.
No, not first off. Second off, welcome back to the Rektfast Club podcast.
Second off, okay, fine.
I haven't been up to much anything,
including speaking English.
Yeah, just failing entirely.
I watched apparently was pretty big. I don't know.
You watched a what?
Some big thing or something. Apparently, there's like 9 of them.
It's terrible because there's 12. There's actually 12. But we don't talk about a lot of those.
The work's been busy.
Holiday season, shipping.
Yeah, holiday season's fun. Playing, still playing my D&D campaign.
Nerds. I say that, but I have a session coming up in like 2 weeks.
Nerd!
Hey, shut up. Nobody asked you.
I just been playing games. Got back into Overwatch. I've actually been playing that more.
Oh, yeah?
I tried. It's not working.
Well, so I had to they changed the competitive, so I was like 27 or 2600. Of course, it's low. People are going to listen to this and be like, "What an idiot!" So,
what a nerd. Yeah, what kind of hero? What kind of person goes into free for all with the tank?
And then I lost.
Listen,
I go into free for all with the tank. Fight me.
Listen, if you're not going into Gibraltar on attack with Torbjorn, you're playing the game wrong. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
Torbjorn.
Yes.
Jorn.
And then I've just been Battlefront 2 for Xbox and haven't played it yet. Fortnite instead, but not actually the free-for-all.
You're just playing actual Fortnite.
And the 50 versus 50 is actually pretty cool.
I've been meaning to try that out. I know PUBG just landed on Xbox One and people are complaining because it's buggy as fuck. So.
It just landed? I thought it was about to come out.
No, it
landed last week.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, so they're complaining about an unfinished game being buggy as fuck?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because,
That's pretty much it.
Oh, wait, what'd you do the last month?
Pretty much work. If I wasn't at work, I was home watching anime. The only notable thing I can say is I watched the entirety of Your Lie in April, finally.
Oh, how'd that go for you?
It's a good anime. I really liked it, but it hit a little too close to home for me because I actually experienced something really similar in real life. So it was an interesting ride, to say the least.
Oh, speaking of anime, did you see the trailer teaser / for My Hero Academia Season 3?
Yeah,
I have not. Hang on, I'm looking this up. Holy shit!
Yeah,
1 second.
You do that now, I guess. Yeah, or what else? What else have you done aside from?
But I watched
anime?
Your Lie in April, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I tried to get back into Golden Time to kind of get through that, and it finally hit its stride in episode like 5 or 6, where they really get into like some of the meat of what makes Golden Time a little different from your normal rom-com and like slice of life. So I'm really starting to like that. I really can't go into too much detail other than the fact that like the main character, the whole story behind him is that he has amnesia. He has no idea who he was before. Yeah. And he's slowly starting to figure that out.
It's like that's the only thing that actually makes that anime an anime, because other than that, it's literally just a college like romance show.
Yeah, and it's different enough to make it worth watching. So I'm enjoying that. I recently saw a movie, the zombie movie Train to Busan. If you guys have not seen that movie, watch it. It is fantastic. It's probably the best zombie movie I've seen in a long while.
Interesting.
Like, and it's a South Korean zombie film. Like, it's a really good movie. I would recommend it. There's that. I got a cat. I don't know if you've heard him yet already in the background, but good thing is he's taking a nap on the bed, so he should be quiet for the rest of this.
Rip cat.
but yeah, we got a cat. He has no spatial awareness, so he hurts himself a lot. So we named him Deku because he's good for nothing, loser. Cat. And what else have I done? Besides getting my desk finally moved in, even though I've been in my apartment for like over a month now, I barely got it in like yesterday and got my setup.
I didn't have a bed frame until about a month ago.
I'm actually thinking about this is gonna sound like a plug, but you guys heard of like Purple mattress, right?
I've heard of it. It's basically the competitor for Casper.
For Casper. Okay, I have no interest in the bed itself. They introduced like a frame that can handle up apparently to like almost 1,000 pounds of weight, and it doesn't squeak at all.
You're gonna get this just so you can jump on the bed, aren't you?
Yes, because it replaces the box springs, and I want it just so I can just fall into my bed and not worry about destroying my bed. So there's that idea. Like I told you guys earlier, I bought my monitor for this setup, not realizing it's not mountable. So the mount I have is kind of useless. It's just sitting in the corner, being a very expensive cat toy because the cat seems to climb all over it. So there's that. And just recently, today, saw that thing of that one really, really famous franchise.
Oh, you saw that one thing too? Man,
yeah.
There's something going on that I don't know about.
The new Harry Potter movie?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's the thing too.
You know what's funny? You said Harry Potter, and we're actually having a competition at my work. Who can decorate the best? We're doing a Christmas theme, a Harry Potter theme. So I'm tasked with making like this giant origami owl to be Hedwig, I think is his name. The owl's name. He's a big old white owl.
Yeah, Owlface. Yeah,
Owlface. Okay. And I honestly don't remember the name. I haven't seen Harry Potter in a long time. And I'm trying to figure out if I can actually make a big old origami owl to do that. I'm hoping I can. But I'm going to find out like tonight after this. But yeah, that's me this past month. Is essentially cat, animes, food, and stuff.
Nice. Yeah. I don't really have that much to go into either. Like between the last recording of this and today, it's pretty much been Overwatch, the Monster Hunter beta. I guess I could go into that. That is really fun. I've never played a Monster Hunter in my life, but I'm getting Monster Hunter World on release because that was like one of the funnest things I've played in a good long while.
Isn't the beta coming back out in like the 22nd again?
They're doing another beta on the 22nd, and you best believe I'm going to be playing that one. But a lot of Overwatch. Monster Hunter took over for that while it was out. I went back to Overwatch because the event had started. I'm not playing it that seriously. I'm kind of getting my weekly boxes, getting an hour or two in after that, and that's about it for the week. Aside from that, I watched a movie. I meant to watch several movies this past weekend. I just didn't get around to doing it, so I've watched the same movie twice because that's how I am.
Right.
And that's mostly everything that's been going on with me. I have decided to go ahead and get back into playing X-Wing. Recently we had the regional tournament for the competitive version of it. I didn't go because I wasn't going to be ready for that crap. But I have decided to start getting back into it, so that should be fun.
That's Hunter. He fucking won.
Yeah, Hunter actually won the tournament, so I'm really glad I didn't go because then I would just have to hear the gloating like in person.
No, but I just wanted to say that because he literally said, "I'm running Wookiees. I don't think I'll win one game," or something along those lines.
and then he lost the first one and won out. We're gonna hear that for a while probably, because Worlds isn't until like summer, I think.
Right.
But that's what's up with me, and apparently what's up with Hunter.
Also, I just watched the My Hero Academia trailer where you guys were talking, and holy crap, it's about to go down.
It doesn't even show much of anything, but it's awesome.
No, it's hype. It's hype in all the best ways. Like, I'm excited. Man.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it regardless, but I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's coming. We also have a game coming out for that. I guess that's a good intro to getting into some of the newsy bits that happened since the last time we did a podcast. It's My Hero Academia is getting a game coming out. It looks kind of like one of the arena Naruto fighter kind of things. That's kind of what it looks like. Should be fun.
Which makes sense, especially with the way how their like powers work.
Definitely.
It would be better. I mean, not better, but I'm not surprised they went that way instead of like a traditional like side 2D like side fighter.
It didn't. I totally like 2D fighters, but for this game, yeah, it probably would, or this franchise, it probably would have invested to do exactly what they're doing here.
Speaking of 2D fighters, are you guys going to get Dragon Ball Z FighterZ?
Yeah, probably, but probably not right away. Because it comes out the same day that Monster Hunter World comes out, and I've already decided I'm going to get Monster Hunter instead.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I might do Fighters instead of World. To be honest with you, just because I'm not a big fan into fighters, but I'm a big fan of Dragon Ball Z, and the fact that this looks like a really promising like return to like the original like Budokai.
Well, it's definitely not going to play like Budokai, but
well, it's I don't know. I'm excited for it either way.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the opposite end. Like, I like fighters more than like Dragon Ball Z, and this game does look really, really good, but I probably won't pick it up right away.
Tomorrow releases for the Switch, which is apparently just a Super Smash Brothers type of game that actually looks pretty fun.
What was it? You dropped that for the name.
Brawl Out.
Oh, I think I heard about that one.
Yeah. Brawl Out looks interesting too. I don't know if I'm going to pick that up or at least check it out. I might just check
how much it is.
Yeah, it really all depends on the price.
What else?
I still need to get Odyssey. I've played like maybe 40 minutes of Odyssey.
You should, yeah, if you get a chance, definitely pick that up. It's definitely worth grabbing. It's got some life on it.
I don't want to pick it up until I'm done with Breath of the Wild.
Oh my god, I didn't realize you're not done with Breath of the Wild.
I'm not done with it. Like it's one of those games because it's on such a big scale that I'll return to it, go hard like on a bunch of side stuff, and do one main story thing or like story arc, and then put it down and come back to it.
Is that
because?
So I assume then you probably also have not gotten to touch Nier Automata or P5 yet.
I have not touched either, and it's mainly just due to the fact that that's the other thing. And since I've made new friends at the current job I'm at, I've been hosting pretty much almost every week since on my days off a movie night. So we've been doing movies here, which is how I saw Train to Busan. I showed somebody the Raid that they had never seen. I loved my friend Matt's reaction to the Raid. He had never seen the Raid before.
It's a really good,
awesome.
A really good movie.
And his reaction was essentially, "Oh my god! I don't know who's gonna win. Where is this go? Wait."
Yeah, no, that's believable.
Wait. That was his reaction the entire movie. And when it was over, he's like, Can we rewind to where I get to watch this again for the first time, please? And I was like, I wish I could experience that movie for the first time again.
Well, I may pick up both of those games from you because I have an itch to replay some of them now. And if you're not done with Zelda, you need to finish Zelda first. And once you're done with Zelda, I will give you the option to play one of those two or Odyssey, whatever your choice is. But I may pick them up from you.
I'm probably honestly gonna, if you don't mind, hang on to Nier. If you'll let me hang on to it.
That's the one I had the itch for even strong. It's okay. I watched Hector beat it. No, that's fine. All right. What else has come out? What else has been happening since the last time that we recorded? PSX. Nothing happened. Yay! A lot of people were upset at that show. Actually,
didn't they do some more of the Ghost of Tsushima? They show some more of that. Or talk at least some more about it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
it's a game that was announced before PSX, and they like went in depth and talked about it on PSX. That's like the only game that really like I'm looking forward to coming out.
I'll have to look into it because I don't remember that one.
It's essentially about the Mongols invading Japan.
Interesting.
Yeah, and if you haven't like looked at the trailers at all for that, you should really look at the announced trailer and then look at the panel where they talk about the game and stuff. It looks like it's going to be a good game. It's going to be interesting. I don't know if it's going to be open world, but I believe it might be. That it's going to be like an open world samurai game. Essentially, you're going to be samurai.
Oh, now it's starting to come back to me. Okay, that one.
Yeah. That's the only game that really looked promising to me. I know there was a few others that might have caught my eye. I just don't remember them anymore, which is bad.
Yeah, well, the show itself it didn't have that much to show, and it wasn't really that entertaining to begin with. So it's not surprising that you don't have that much that you remember from the show.
Hey, have we heard anything else about Anthem from EA? No, right?
No, nothing else has come out about Anthem yet. I bet that they're gonna wait till E3 or something.
I know they talked about A Way Out and how only one person has to have a copy of that game for you to do co-op.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
That one is like a streamer LP Let's Players paradise, and it's going to be like a required play for pretty much anybody that has a channel, I think.
So for us, essentially,
yeah, basically. But
VGAs happened.
Yeah, immediately before, like the day before or something like that, and that was a much better present. It was like more of a press conference because it's a really bad award show, but it's a good press conference. A lot of good trailers and stuff. As far as who won stuff, not Horizon. Horizon came away with nothing, which really is
surprising.
No, honestly, it's not surprising to me because that's a really good game in a year of monster games. So I mean, it's not going to win anything over Zelda or Mario, and P5 and Nier had a lot of respect. So yeah. And then we had stuff come out like Cuphead, and we had
oh man,
PUBG. And
I got to play about 30 minutes of Cuphead, and
that game's an experience.
That game is fun, and it's beautiful, colorful. I wish my computer could run it. I really do.
It's time to upgrade. You were talking about this earlier, but yeah, it's time to upgrade.
Yeah. Also, I posted a link for the Ghost of Tsushima in the chat.
Okay, cool. I'll take a look at that in a bit. So as far as who won stuff, Zelda did get Game of the Year. Not really that surprising. Ended up coming away with 3 awards. Surprising to me was Hellblade coming away with just as many awards. I had no idea that game was actually that good to have that much respect. So I'm actually gonna have to take a look into it.
Hellblade looks good. It always looks good.
It just surprises me because it's Ninja Theory, and it's just like.
Oh well, yeah. I can get that.
But yeah, Nier got something. Persona got something. PUBG got something. Overwatch won 2 awards this year, oddly enough, which is more than a lot of actually every other candidate for Game of the Year, aside from the winner. Overwatch got more awards than them. That's funny to me. Which it kind of speaks to exactly how good of a award show the Game Awards actually is. But there was a lot of good stuff that they showed as far as trailers go. So, other stuff that's going on. What else we got going on?
They announced the 30th anniversary of Mega Man. They announced Mega Man 11, which I'm excited for. It's going to be like a 2.5D for Xbox, Switch, PS4. I think they're also going to release for the Switch because they're trying to catch up with all the. I don't know. It's something it has a bunch of them in a game. I don't know what they're called. I can't think right now.
I'm trying to think. Isn't there another game that they're doing a release of? It's the 17th. Oh, that's what I remember. Apparently, I don't know if you guys saw the link I posted, but there is a studio called Dinosaur Studios or something like that.
That's not happening.
That posted a demo or something of Jet Set, like a remaster.
It's a visual proof of concept, which is basically them taking it to the producer or the publisher and saying, "This is what we can do with it." And you did read the description on that video, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
So unfortunately, they took it to Sega. Sega said no, but it does show that there's a lot of interest in people wanting to get that game just by looking at the view count and the comments of that video. So
yeah, no,
I'm sure somebody else might be interested in trying to do that. Although I'm sure Sega has to sign off on it in some form.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Upsetting, but yeah, Jet Set Radio Future Evolution, I think is what it was titled.
Yeah, I think it was Jet Set Radio Evolution.
Yeah, something like that. Looks cool.
They're also doing a Street Fighter.
Yeah, 35th anniversary. So it's basically Third Strike, Alpha 2, Hyper Fight, like 6 other games that are coming out with it, and then also on top of that, Street Fighter 5 Arcade Edition, which is adding more characters, more modes, more stuff like that. All of that looks really good too.
I think they just released. They're doing a Pac-Man thing for the Switch too. I think that was like really recent.
Nice.
I don't know if they did anything for Final Fantasy, because I think Final Fantasy 30th anniversary is this year as well.
Not that I know of, but they are trying to milk 15, and for some people, it's working.
For some people, yeah.
Some people enjoy 15, and to them, I say congratulations. I guess
I couldn't get into it. I really
I beat it, but I was pretty much out of obligation.
I couldn't commit to it. I was like, you know what? Like I have a younger sister, like not that much younger than me. She's really younger than me. But I was like, here, you'll like the boy band rap. And sure enough, she did. She really liked the game. And not to knock on the game or her, but she really enjoyed it. She's like, you need to play through it. And I was like, yeah, no, I'll just watch you play through it.
And then you slowly slink away out of the room after 5 minutes because you don't care anyways.
Kind of, yeah, a little bit.
Other stuff going on. Zelda DLC dropped the day it was announced, actually. So they at the Game Awards, they kind of said, okay, here's what's actually happening in the DLC. And by the way, it's out now. And by now, they meant a couple hours later.
There's also Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, which it made like a bunch of big improvements on the base game.
I haven't touched it or really looked into it that much. Is it really big changes?
There's some big changes. They made a lot more different types of Pokemon available at the starting area, and they changed the way how the totems and the challenges go and what you fight at the end. And they made a lot of small tweaks and stuff. I don't remember it all. I just remember it being different enough that I got told by Roel. He's like, if you haven't beaten Sun, just go trade it in for Ultra Sun and just start over. Don't even worry about it. Because you're not getting the full experience if you just play the base Sun. I was like, oh.
Interesting.
Yeah. So at some point, I'm going to do that. And yeah, fun times.
Okay. What else do we got here on the list here? We got an item that says Justice League Le Bombed. Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it actually financially do bad? Is that what it
financially did bad?
Okay. Cool.
I seen the movie. Am a little kind of perturbed by that, just because they finally got the characters right. They finally got the Superman character right. Like, he's not this brooding piece of garbage anymore. He's smiles and whatever.
Who cares?
Like, and they had Batman right from the beginning, and I felt like that. Listen.
Dude, if you couldn't tell from the trailers, come on.
Yeah, like he was coming back. I was really worried that they were going to screw Cyborg up.
What are you talking about?
What? No. I made us stop a podcast so I could watch that trailer. If you do not remember correctly, all right? You've seen that trailer.
Yeah, but I was really worried they were going to screw Cyborg up as far as like how his character is, like personality wise. I didn't think they were going to nail it. But the actor and the writers and all that, they got his character down to the T. Like, Cyborg is Cyborg in this movie. And I was pretty happy about that.
They had to reshoot to do it, but that's cool.
Yeah. But I'm glad they did. Like, as far as that goes, it's perfectly fine. Like, it's a watchable movie. It's an enjoyable movie. You can tell kind of where they had to do the reshoots and where they do some re-edits. And the story's not 100%, but they added a little more campiness to it that I felt like was very much needed, and it's a step in the right direction for DC. Like, it's not a fix, but they're going the right way. So,
well, at least there's that. Can't wait for them to just reboot it all when they do Flashpoint.
They're totally gonna do Flashpoint. And I know you said that to just like fucking irk me, and that did. I was like, God damn it! You know what would be great? It's going to be great though if they do Flashpoint. We at least get to see Thomas Wayne Batman, which is like fucking no hold barred, like just dropping fools left and right with guns in holsters and stuff.
Gunman, Batgun.
Yeah, the Bat gun.
So next on the list, I think we kind of mentioned this already. Overwatch has a winter event started up on the 12th. It's running all the way through the 1st. Once again, this is the event with the worst game mode, or the worst special game mode, and pretty decent skins, but nothing that's so, like,
you don't like Yeti Hunter?
There. I do not like Yeti Hunter, and I didn't like May Snowball Offensive last year.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
I don't like either one of them.
Trash.
Actually, I lied. Some of those skins are really, really good this year, so, I mean,
they're really good. Royals pining over Sombra's,
Sombras is good. I just got that one actually on PS4, and Anna's is really, really good too.
I want Anna's skin. I love how like the community complained that they didn't get like the bird with the last skin from the last event. If you got Anna's skin, like she was supposed to have like a parrot, and they didn't put it in. And the first
we didn't give you the bird, so here, just make her a bird.
Yeah. There's like since we didn't give you guys the bird, we're just gonna make Anna a bird. Here's a bird. Deal with it. but yeah, I'm liking. I love the fact that they made Roadhog a walrus. I think that's great.
Yeah.
What new added? Did they also give Junkrat like a summer skin for the winter?
They gave him a summer skin. It's the greatest.
Australia's in summertime now.
I didn't even think about that. I thought it was just being ironic, but no, that's actually
no, because he's Australian.
That is adorable.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, what else we got?
His tire's like a rubber duck. It's awesome.
It's the greatest.
It's pretty sweet.
All right, what else we got going on here? We got, I think you put this on here, Flip, because you're interested in this game. We got Sea of Thieves has a release date. What's that release date?
Oh, shit. I just had it. It's March 18th. So, like, a few days before my birthday.
You got to do something about that cough, man.
Right.
They finally announced it. I think I kind of want to see what they're doing. I don't know, because like you said, they also showed the Ubisoft one right after they showed this one.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 games later.
I'm going to keep this on my radar. A lot of people are excited about it because, again, it's rare. It's been announced for 3 years now. I think they announced it in 15 or 16.
I don't think it's been 3 years, but it has definitely 2. I'm not sure about 3.
I thought that was a big thing that they finally released a date for it. I'll go through this next one because I think I've been the only one that actually played it.
I played a little bit.
Actually,
I played some.
Battlefront 2 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Out when we talked about it. But we did. Did we talk about the loot box?
We did not talk about the loot box situation, which happened immediately before the release of the game. I'm talking a day or two before that news started circulating about what's going on. Yeah, right before it came out, and it was bad. It was bad. Like when Lucas or when Disney calls your studio and says, "Hey, what the f- are you doing?" You know you had a problem here.
Big Daddy Disney had to come down and go, "Hey, can you not?
Why do you got Star Wars in the news for bad news?
Can you fucking not, EA?"
And then EA just ruins it for everyone because now everyone is now keeping their eyes out on the thing that is loot boxes. I mean, we got countries banning them and stuff like that now.
Yeah.
But they immediately took it out, and they haven't implemented it yet. So they lost a lot. I have fun with it. I play with my friends.
Oh, gameplay is fun. The gameplay is super fun. I just have a lot of other fundamental issues with the game.
I saw that video you posted when you said that it's supposed to be Game of the Year, John, and I was like, oh, damn.
It's buggy. I'll get that. The campaign, I think it's interesting. It tells a pretty good story. They just, Friday, along with the movie, they released some DLC for it.
Yep.
I
watched the campaign, and then I watched that DLC, so I know exactly what happened. Still not impressed.
Yeah, so I gotta play that one. They released some new characters with Finn and Captain Phasma.
I'm not a fan of the story of Battlefront 2 because it's exactly what I thought it was going to be, and I wish they could have just done something else.
I'm not a fan because it goes against the first thing that they said the game would be, which is that it would bridge the gap between 6 and 7, and it did none of that. But that's me.
But yeah.
Next up is Crimson Squad. I don't know what that means. Oh yeah,
yeah. We did. I was mentioning X-Wing earlier. We also have a Heroes of the Aturi Cluster, which is a fan campaign of X-Wing.
Plug.
You can check on our most recent videos and find our first episode on there, where we get into a little bit of trouble.
Yeah.
Noe and Jon blow up.
Hey,
listen. When you're working with fertilizer and manure, something's about to go boom.
Enough of the farm jokes.
Oh, you're gonna have to get used to it because I'm gonna keep.
I know, no. You know, one of these days, one of these times, your ship is gonna blow up and you're gonna fail the eject roll, and then I will not have to deal with that anymore. I just gotta pray. Hope and pray. Thoughts and prayers.
Next up, Geek and Sundry's Critical Role ended about a month ago, less than a month ago. They did this campaign for 5 or 6 years.
Good long while.
It was a long time. They reached level 20. I have not caught up with it, so I kind of like catch it every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing kind of some one-off adventures since then. They did announce that they're going to come out with a new campaign mid-January, maybe the end of January. I don't remember the exact date.
Yep.
Which looks keep up with that one. It's pretty cool seeing that last campaign, that last thing. I kind of watched half of the final episode, and when you play for a character, and they became those characters for I think it was 5 years. To leave it alone, it's weird. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Now they're coming back. New campaign. It'll be fun to actually jump in on one because I had always heard about it. I just never really got into it because it was like something that was in progress, and I wasn't going to start from the beginning.
And
so now I get to start from the beginning on a new show. So that's cool.
They play like 4 hours, and they start at 7:30 Pacific time. So
it's
hard for me.
And that's like once a week, so I don't know if I can actually get that in.
So next up, they announced new Bayonetta for the Switch.
Yay! Bayonetta is a Disney princess.
I haven't played any of the Bayonetta, so
the Switch isn't strong enough. Okay, but I didn't say
that. Next up, apparently there is a fake Cuphead.
What?
There's apps. There's like a Cuphead kind of thing that you can get from the App Store that is not real. I just read this today.
So really? A Chinese knockoff of like every other game that there is?
There's a $5 App Store Cuphead game that's been on the store today. Yeah,
it's probably some Chinese
Apple thing. Because isn't it on Microsoft?
Yeah, it's a Microsoft. It's Microsoft funded. I don't know about owned.
But apparently, it just showed up out of nowhere, and it's pretty much just a scam. And apparently, the people that reported on it was Touch Arcade, reported that the iOS version had been published today, linking to what seems to be a legitimate App Store app, and it's not really an App Store app. It just pretty much kind of swindles you out of your money.
That should be fun.
Another big thing, got the rights to the majority of Fox, not all of it.
Yeah.
Everything
but the Fox Broadcast Network, the Fox Sports Network, and the Fox News Network. So everything else is now Disney.
The biggest thing I took from that was Anastasia is now a Disney princess, so I'm happy with that.
Biggest thing,
Anastasia's a Disney princess. All of the aliens are Disney princesses.
Listen,
Fox owns the right to Batman on TV.
Yep.
Disney owns that, so
Yep. That's going to be interesting to find out how that plays
Batman
out.
show to Batman Beyond. We'll see.
Yeah. Also, I want to start a petition personally to put Hank Hill into Kingdom Hearts 3.
Banned. You saw that tweet. I know you did, but banned. You're banned from this podcast.
No. Check me out, Dad. I'm a key wielder. That boy ain't right. Tell you what.
He's not. All right.
Come on. It'd be great. Come on.
Is that all we got? Is that all we got? That's all we got because you're not behind. You guys have to get behind the paywall to get the rest of this podcast because net neutrality's in trouble.
Yep, and a vote 3-2, they rolled back on making the free internet a Title II utility, and so now private companies can pretty much do what they want with the internet, which is pretty much,
Well, that's just the FCC. There's still another layer to get through, but yeah, I think it's not looking good.
It's not looking good at all,
It's
and
not.
you're already seeing like some of the bigger ISPs making moves already. They're jumping on it quick.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they jump on it quick? But it's fine because as long as you're in whatever contract or whatever, or you're not trying to use a bunch of internet for a bunch of other streamy thingies and make content and put it out there, then it's fine because you just need to use it to check your Facebook.
You're literally talking about everybody.
That's the joke.
That's everybody, John.
That's the joke.
That's everyone.
That's the joke.
So let's just jump right into the topic.
Yeah, we did a thing. Now we're actually talking about the thing.
Let's do a star wipe.
Do a star wipe of the same image to itself on the video.
Yeah, do it. Just star wipe into the same image.
With spoilers.
Completely. Yeah, no, the image has spoilers on it. Don't worry. Like if you couldn't tell from the preview image, this is going to be a full-on spoiler discussion of Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
So, we probably all have opinions. Everyone that watched it probably has opinions. All your opinions are wrong. The only opinion that matters is Monster Hunter World is coming out on the 22nd, another beta. I made this joke on like Twitter and Facebook. Like after all I've done since I watched it on Thursday and again on Friday is talk about this movie with people and discuss it because me personally, when I first came out of the theater on Thursday, I didn't know what I felt. I didn't know if I was positive.
That's exactly what I felt.
I did not know if I was negative. Yeah, you said that to me also.
I walked out and I was just, I don't know. I enjoyed it as far as being entertained.
Mm-hmm.
As far as being entertained and it being what it needs to be, it is the better movie compared to 7. Like, it is really good. The visuals are fucking fantastic. The fight scenes, the space battles are fantastic.
Visually, it's amazing. Its fights are, some people would say they were boring. I actually liked the fights. They were a little bit more. They were actually a little bit more grounded, and I did like that. And that's believable because all the A-class fighters in the galaxy are all dead.
Right.
Nobody taught Luke how to fight good. That's why he didn't fight good in the original trilogy. That's why he didn't teach them to fight good because,
I mean, let's just start at the beginning. The beginning is, the rebels are trying to run, essentially, right?
Resistance.
And Poe Dameron is trying to make, he's trying to stall for time.
Well, let's make the first scene where that whole bomber scene, I thought was pretty cool. I thought
you're starting after where Noe was talking about.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to say,
he cut out on mine, so I didn't hear.
Oh yeah, it's like starting up with Poe Dameron trying to buy the time for them to get away, and then starting his run to take the guns out was really good in showing it how useful and how great of a pilot Poe Dameron is. Like, he K-turned in an X-Wing, John.
That wasn't a K-turn.
It was. Why is it not a K-turn?
Because a K-turn is when you turn 180 and then you start facing that direction. He pulled a full 360. He did a move that's not in X-Wing.
Okay. So he made a move. He pretty much drifted into the...
Yeah, he was running in the 90s on that chat.
Running in the 90s.
Moving on.
But no, it like I was on board right from that, especially with the fact that he made the call to attack. The attack didn't go so well, and you know,
and he got bit in the ass for it.
Yeah, and it was a good starting point for Poe Dameron. I feel like that whole like character arc or his growth arc from there could have gone a little farther, but it was fine throughout the entire movie as far as that goes.
Except there were 2 movies in, and he's the main character, a main-ish character, and there's still not much of a history about him, which I don't like.
Yeah, he's got a whole comic. That's where you're supposed to pick it up.
I don't want to read.
I understand that, but you know that's what they're.
I actually want to get that comic and the Kanan Jarrus comic.
Apparently, yeah, both of them are apparently good.
I apparently was the only one that found this funny in the theater that I saw it in today. But when Rey hands Luke the lightsaber and he just chunks it over his shoulder, I lost my shit. I couldn't stop laughing. I thought that was funny as fuck.
Yeah, both viewings I went to, people lost their shit on that. That was a really good bit.
I was the only one in the theater laughing.
Had a lot more humor than the other one.
Force Awakens.
There we go.
Wow.
Wow.
Did we fast forward? No, that's an accurate time travel. It was right after the bomber bit. So we go into Rey going off to training. I think.
Well, not even really going off to training. She's just trying to get Luke to actually train her.
Yeah,
and he's refusing to. And then we pick up where they get back to the ship and they make the jump, and they get followed anyways.
Yeah, and if you watch Rogue One more closely, you hear them when Jyn is
checking through all the files. She finds a file on hyperspace tracking, where the Empire was actually researching that already.
Right. So they've been putting their work into that. So that explains where that comes from, anyways. But they get caught up on. They get their, for lack of a better term, the rebels get their stuff pushed in.
Introduced.
It wouldn't be the first time that we cursed on this, dude.
Yeah,
it's even on this specific podcast.
I know, but I'm trying to keep it as light as I possibly can.
Oh, I mean, we already broke the 2 fuck rules, and if we didn't, well, fuck.
We got introduced to Rose, which I liked.
I like Rose.
As a character. Rose is cool.
I like her as a character, and I had already seen some reviews about the movie before I went going in, and how people didn't like that side story of Finn and Rose. I thought it was actually very pertinent to the whole overall story, which was, no matter what situation the rebels are in, they're gonna be the spark that keeps everybody hoping. And that's kind of what they did when they landed on that planet. I can't remember what that planet was called, where everybody's all hoity-toity and rich.
Canto Bight.
There you go. Because
so I thought Luke's refusal to train. I still want to know exactly what happened when he was training Ben, but maybe we'll find that out in the next one.
Did you not watch the movie?
I know what happened with him and Ben. I know that, but the process of him training him,
how he was actually turned. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of other Jedis. He was training other Jedis. What happened to them?
They got fucking murdered. That's all you got.
Some got killed by Ben, supposedly, and then some left with him.
Yeah, some went with him.
Which they were the Knights of Ren?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly?
Yeah, for what I am assuming, yeah.
But, I don't know, this movie had a lot of twists and turns as far as like the information and the story being given, like plot twists that I thought were pretty nice. I felt like the director made some very dangerous leaps into certain areas and then played it really, really fucking safe with one particular thing, and it pissed me the fuck off.
Where are we right now? We're through the denial.
Right.
We just want to make sure that we're not jumping too far ahead as far as what happens in the movie. So we get to the denial of the training, or that's pretty early on.
Oh, and
we get the
before we get even further, we get to the scene where Leia gets blown out into space, and somehow she can pull herself back into the ship of the Force.
I was not
alive.
She is Force sensitive.
She's Force sensitive. She's not a Force user.
I know, but I don't know if that can be explained away as like a fight or flight thing, but
you can definitely call it a possible fight or flight situation where the Force or her Force sensitivity kind of just accelerated in growth to something else. Right. All I know is that I didn't like that scene at all. It really, for excuse the pun, but it really felt forced.
It looked weird. It didn't look.
It looked bad. It felt wrong. I didn't like it.
That's one of the issues I have with the. I felt like that should have been where she died, and where the movie carried on with Holding running the show like she does for a good while. I thought the conflict between Holding and Poe was actually very Holden or whatever.
Holdo.
You know what I mean? I
do know what you mean. Just telling you how to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought their conflict was really good. It was very, very important for Poe's like growth as a character and as a potential leader. Despite the whole thing with Leia.
Right. So we get Leia Poppins, and then we get the casino, and we get the space chase.
I actually thought the whole casino scene was pretty nice because you haven't really seen something like that where it's like really pristine, really clean in the Star Wars universe. And I thought that was a nice change of scenery. Like as far as like a casino or a place where people gamble and stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Then after the space chase and the casino bits, all of that leads up to eventually the confrontation. Right before that, when Rey finds out what happened between Luke and Ben, which then leads to her saying, you know what, I can turn him. And then we get to the confrontation where she goes over to the big super dreadnought ship, whatever the frick it was called.
Well, the thing you're glossing over on is the fact that for some reason now the Force is connecting it, like Rey and Kylo.
Yes, we have a very, very, very. I mean, thanks for just going to it, but yes, the way there was a very new, like not seen before, kind of Force ability kind of thing with connecting two people. They're looking right at each other, not seeing surroundings. They're looking right at each other. They can see stuff. They're feeling what they feel and everything like that. Rey and Kylo have conversations like this 3 or 4 times during that whole
before she decides to go to the Dreadnought.
It almost reminds me of KOTOR 1, where you're connected to Bastila.
Kind of. Actually, that's a good comparison.
It's a more in-depth version of that one, because that one they only shared visions and stuff. This one is you're having a conversation and you're seeing each other like face. So how strong Snoke was.
Yeah. So we get to the confrontation. Obviously, she's been fooled. He has no intention of making that turn. And then we kind of get the Jedi-esque, Return of the Jedi-esque Emperor throne room scene playing out.
But can we kind of jump back really quick to that? Because we're jumping back. I'm sorry.
No.
Because I feel like this is important to get to before that.
No.
The confrontation between Rey and Luke, I felt like was one of those moments where was the potential of seeing if Rey was going to turn or not, because I felt like, since her emotions were high and stuff, and she ends up into a fight with him, she pulls the saber, and it looks like she's about to actually take him out, like on the stairs, and that actually made me go, "Holy crap! They might make her do this, and she might turn over."
I didn't get that feeling of that would be a turn moment, but it definitely was a really, really good scene.
Yeah, and that's why I'm sorry I'm jumping back to that because it was kind of important to bring up.
All right, so we're back here at the throne room scene, which,
right,
where stuff happens,
where he wants information on Luke.
Right. He reveals that he's actually the one that's connecting the two of them, and they're having that where they can have that those conversations and whatnot.
And what I really liked is once he gets the information, he tells Kylo, to take her out. Like as soon as he starts that banter, banter of like, "I feel your resolve, my young apprentice," and all this stuff like that. I was like, "Oh, please tell me Kylo kills this guy," because I feel like this is where it's going to happen. And sure enough, played it up pretty nicely. He fools him he fools his master into thinking that he's going to kill Rey, and he doesn't.
Excellent shot, by the way. Like,
yeah,
that saber just sliding forward.
Oh, and then that fight scene was really good. Like
it was. I've had a lot of people say that they just didn't like that fight scene, but it's because they're the last thing that they remember, aside from having watched the original trilogy and remembering that they just didn't have the choreography back then, is the fights that you got in the the prequel trilogy. And my personal belief is that it's coming from all of those world-class fighters are dead, and no one has that training anymore. Luke does not have that training, so he can't pass that on.
Well, not only that, but like when people said that they wanted those high choreographed fights, and they got the prequels with those fights in it, not everybody, but most people turned around and said, "Oh, well, that's just unrealistic." Like you would think that Obi-Wan Kenobi would be fighting a lot more vicious and offhanded because he just lost. Yeah, and it's just like, well, you can't just win with them. And I felt like this fight scene in the throne room was a good balance of both worlds. Like you weren't getting super like high flying stylistic fighting, but you got enough of it to where it was still dirty fighting, but not super dirty. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I liked it. Like I said, I liked it because it was a little bit more grounded.
Yeah, and it was great. And the anti-saber weapons, oh
yeah.
Ooh. Oh man, I really like that fight scene. Like every space battle fight scene that happens in this movie, I think is fantastic.
So we get through that fight. There's some troubles, but they wipe out the rest of them. Right. And Rey immediately says, "Hey, okay, call off the fleet," because at this point, there's the other ship is still being chased off, and she says, "Call them off because you still have the ability to do this." And that's the call to turning Kylo, which of course does not happen.
Yeah. Right. And it's really crazy because like you feel like they did a really good job of building this like weird connection and like not friendship between Rey and Kylo. It's more of like a respect of each other, even though they don't agree. And I feel like that hopefully will pay off really well in episode 9, as far as like because like it builds a really good conflict because they're kindred spirits kind of for the most part,
right?
And they understand where both of each other are coming from, but at the same time they have completely different worldviews on how to handle everything. And where I felt like they played it really safe in this movie was the reveal of Rey's parents.
Why did you think that was safe?
Because if they actually if they tied her to sort of actual like important character in the lore of Star Wars, if somebody was going to make a fuss, somebody was going to complain.
I believe the complete opposite of that. I believe that the safe option would have been to make her a Skywalker or a Solo or a Kenobi.
I'm not saying like a Skywalker or a Solo, but tie her to somebody. And I felt like them saying, "Oh, she was just the daughter of some junkers, and they traded her for beer." You know, I don't know. I felt that was a little, for me, it was out of place.
That's if you even believe that. Like, can you believe that though?
No, well,
I don't think that's true.
No,
Exactly.
I fully believe it. Actually,
I think he was just telling her that.
No,
I mean, I could be
believe it.
wrong.
He literally asked her, "You've known it all along," and then you can see it in her face. She knows that that's the exact situation. Rewatch it. You know that that's the situation.
I think it was more of, I don't want that to be.
Too bad it's the case. The only thing that, the one thing that they could have done to absolutely cement that it was the fact is for him to add the line, "Search your feelings, you know it to be true." That would be the only, that would cement it for everyone, and we would not have this discussion.
Also, can we also kind of jump back to where Luke is going to destroy like the little temple tree thing that has all the writings for the Jedi, and Yoda just shows up and is just like this cheeky like dude just fucking with Luke the entire time.
So I love that. I love Pope.
Yeah, I actually love that so much. I was like, this is
a nice little bit there.
It was great.
But yeah, no, I honestly believe that it was the brave and risky thing to do, and I respect them for making it a fact that she came from nowhere and she is still able to be this person, because it inserts the lesson on top of what the movie's full lesson is, and we'll get to that in a bit. But it inserts the lesson of you're more than your lineage, you're more than what you came from.
Right, and in that aspect, I'm okay with it. I don't know. Out of everything else, it just felt out of place. But that's me. I just watched it today, so
it bothered me not at all. I respected it.
Okay.
What did bother me though is having no background for Snoke, and I really hope that we get that in some form later, because
he was crazy powerful.
Me having gone into now in the lead up to this movie, I've read 5 other books, and I'm in the middle of a 6th. And I've kind of glossed over a couple of the other comics, just getting everything that I can from between 6 and 7. Which, spoiler alert, nobody touches anything between Jakku and 7. Nobody.
Oh wow, really?
Nobody. The closest thing is the book I'm reading right now, which touches a couple years before Episode 7. So now I do know how the First Order was originally set up, but I know nothing about what happened during those 6 years where there's no coverage of it. So I have no idea how they reached the power level that they did. I have no idea where Snoke came from or who he is. Now it almost doesn't matter because he's dead. So that bothered me a little bit, but I thought that I did respect it because that's kind of brave to do as well.
A lot. I think it's more of the fact that I want to know. I don't care if he's dead or alive. I really just want to know where he came from.
Yeah,
who he was or is, and
yeah,
what's the story.
For me, it's one in the fill in the blanks. But there's that. So we get past that scene, and then we start to kind of close out the movie here, because now we know that Kylo hasn't turned. We know that Rey has failed in that aspect. So it's time to get back to the fleet and try to save as many people as you can, because things are looking bad.
Did you like did y'all like that Kylo didn't turn, but he also didn't stay? Like he wants destroyed and
he wants to, but he's complete. He's perpetuating the Sith cycle. So, but he's not smart enough to realize that.
Right.
He's alone. He wants somebody to share his, because he doesn't have anybody. Has his master betrayed him, or he thinks he's betrayed him?
But I mean, his offer was literally join me, and we can rule a galaxy. It's a 1-to-1 of the Sith cycle. So
yeah, but
he wants to destroy it, but he's not wise enough to realize that he's trying to move towards perpetuating it.
Right, and that makes sense because they're young
Yeah.
users of the Force,
Yeah.
and they have nobody to guide them now. They've literally one refused to guide the other, and one killed his master. So
Yeah. So yeah, we get back to moving towards Hoth 2 because it's Hoth 2.
Well, really quick, while that's happening, the rebels are offloading, trying to get to that Hoth 2 planet, as you mentioned.
Great.
And what's her name takes the cruiser and pretty much bullets it through
the best shot in the franchise.
Yes.
Best shot in the franchise.
And it's coming up. I thought the Luke staring down those 4 kind of angled up was a really good shot.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We can contest that. We can contest that.
But that shot of her taking that ship and just bashing it through everything, and you could see the way they shot it. It was fantastic. My only complaint after that,
5-second scene, but the best I want this as a picture.
Right.
Luke one or the original Luke staring off to his farm with the 2 sons in the background.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't like is the fact that when Finn and Rose are about to get executed, when that happens, they go from having all of these troopers and Phasma around them to just nobody being around them, and just everything's destroyed. You would think there'd be somebody else getting up that's a trooper by them, and it's just I don't know. It was just really out of place.
Yep.
I thought it was really poorly done. BB-8 piloting and freaking what is it? AT-AT?
ATST.
ATST. That's right. And I thought that was kind of funny because I thought he was just gonna shoot out of it from where it was at and then get off it. And no, he just takes the damn thing for a ride. So it's okay, that's kind of cool. Kind of out of.
Okay, was my reaction also.
Yeah. I didn't know how to feel about that scene at all. And it's just could you guys not figure out a better way to get them out of here? And again, we throw Phasma down another hole.
Now,
again,
I will say that yes, Phasma definitely got Boba'd. He definitely got Boba'd here, but it was by orders of magnitude, much more respect given to Phasma than was to Boba in this movie.
Right. No, and I agree with that. I don't know. I felt like there could have been a little more to Finn and Phasma's fight scene than what it was. That's just me.
I thought it was pretty good. It could I wished it went longer because it was completely obvious that she was kicking his ass.
Oh yeah, she was kicking his ass.
Now, most people would take that statement, watch the scene, and disagree with me because a lot of those blows don't land immediately. But when you're throwing all of those blows at somebody, and even if they're blocking them, they're on full retreat, and you're pressing forward on them, you are kicking their ass in a fight.
Oh yeah.
So she's winning that, but Boba.
But yeah,
not gonna happen. But I hope she comes back.
That's a pretty definite death.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, they emphasized on it really hard when they showed her smash.
Yeah, they did. So I guess from here now we kind of start moving towards great, right?
Right. Which I actually love the look of because it looks like it's a snow-covered planet, but it's salt or something.
It's
that.
It's a red salt, and that's kind of oxygenated or something like that on the surface, so it turns white up there. Visually, one of my favorite fights. I think it is. I think I like it better than Hoth 1. I think I like Crate is the name of that planet, by the way. I think I like it better than Hoth because visually it was a really good fight. Visually,
it was fantastic. What was the ship that they were using to fight the AT-ATs?
That was just another speeder. I think they call it a skip speeder or something like that.
I don't know why the design of it, where you're balancing out the engine with the pilot from one side to the other. You get that little fin holding you to the ground. Essentially, I thought that was really fucking cool looking. It was a really good use of ship design to the planet they were on because it's kicking up all this red salt as they fly through. And it's just
Yeah.
I thought it was cool.
Visually great scene.
Yeah.
So we get through most of the fight. We get the Falcon coming in to kind of save the day. Also, good shot. Rey's back on board. I don't have any problem with it because they did kind of explain how she got out of that situation. I don't have any problem with it. Some people don't pay attention to the movie that they're watching, and then they try to call stuff out and not realize that they weren't actually watching the movie. She gets in Snoke's shuttle, leaves, and gets to the rendezvous point that she set with Chewie beforehand. Watch the movie again, listen to what's going on. She has a way out.
Why did somebody like
people,
point that out?
No, it's just people that just don't capture. And again, I watched the movie twice, so maybe I had the benefit of actually catching stuff I didn't the first time. But
I caught it the first time.
Yeah,
so.
No, it was covered. It was in there. Just watch the movie. When you're reaching down to grab the popcorn, make sure that you still have your full attention there. If you miss it and hit the floor, too bad. Now you got dirty hands, but who cares? You're actually paying attention to the movie. Just watch the movie. Shut up. Don't ask me questions. All right?
Right. But yeah, no, it was good to see her show up. I like the little addition to Chewie's co-pilot, the little hawk bird thing.
The Porg was definitely not a co-pilot. Also, we should address that now. The Porg was not anywhere near as annoying as I thought it might be.
No, nowhere near as annoying. It's actually pretty adorable.
It was just fine. I had no issues with the Porg.
Porg?
Porg, P-O-R-G. I always have to spell it for people.
So excuse us.
So I know it's because people like the what? The Borg from Star Trek? The porn? What?
Yeah.
I always have to just re-say it and spell it just so I make sure it comes across. But okay, so Falcon comes in, saves the day, and then we start getting towards. They bring they've already had it out there, but they had the big, huge. I had to shake my head at this because I battering ram cannon that was going to break down the door to the shelter that they were all hiding in. I shook my head at that name, but it's all recycled Death Star tech. That's their style, so.
I just love the fact that they're just dragging it across the.
That was kind of cool. That was kind of cool. It was very ominous looking. It didn't really feel Star Wars to have that look or to give it that name, but it's something else. I don't know.
Because they could have easily mounted it on it, walked it across that.
Yeah,
tank.
they could have,
but or salt, but they just no, let's just drag it to be ominous because these guys are fucked anyways.
I had to shake my head at that moment, but it is what it is. So their assault on this cannon, which is their goal, is to kind of just blow it up so it doesn't blow up the door, is ultimately failing. It's about to fire. Finn is like, you know what? I'm going to stop this thing. So he fully looks like he's going to go ahead and just charge right into it, sacrifice himself, blow up the cannon, save the day or whatnot.
Right.
Rose comes in and stops him. Collides with his ship, gets him out of the way. And kind of delivers another type of message to the movie line. We're not to fight what you hate, but save what you love. Or I don't remember the exact line, but that kind of message. So nice moment, but
she says, "Let's not fight what we hate. Let's save what we love." Is essentially what she says.
Something like that.
But the only problem I have with that is I felt like her kissing Finn was kind of out of nowhere and a little out of place.
I think it was actually perfect for her character.
I thought it was alright. I thought it was okay.
Maybe I got to watch the movie again because I don't know. It caught me off.
And she's like, I don't see a lot of people, so any interaction, I think she, like the small amount of interaction she's had with Finn. I don't think it was actually we're in love kind of kiss. It was just a stupid.
Right.
I disagree. I think it's heading in that direction. But
I don't know. I gotta watch the movie again to really get a better. Because I feel like, especially with any movie, at least 2 or 3 times to really kind of catch everything that you.
There was a lot to process on this one, so yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we have that bit now.
Also, the creature design for this movie was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like the salt what are they called? I forgot what those.
The little icicle wolf thing, the crystal wolf thing.
Oh man, they were pretty to look at. Like it's just like holy crap, that is awesome.
There was a real one made. It wasn't seen in the movie, but it was a real one made and then scanned for the digital module.
Oh well, I'm glad they did that because man, did that thing look amazing.
Mm-hmm. Our movie visually looked awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, fan.
So we have so that moment, and then we're like, okay, things are real bad. They just blasted a hole in the door. They got the AT-ATs walking forward. They about to blast our shit and end the resistance right here. And then we get old man Logan. I mean, Luke
old man Logan.
Luke
fucking
Skywalker
walks out.
Luke Skywalker shows up to save the day. Nice little moment with him and Leia. Very nice little moment.
Very, very good moment. That's the only reason why I give a pass to like what happened earlier in the movie with Leia a little bit, because like obviously they could have done something different to get her back on the ship.
I would have preferred it.
Definitely, like maybe her being force sensitive allowed her to keep herself safe until they could retrieve her. That would have been better. Like I don't know. I'm not a movie director or storyboard writer, so what do I know? But it was a nice moment between Luke and Leia. And then, as Phil was saying earlier, a bad-ass scene of Luke just strolling out in front of all of the AT-ATs and just standing there, staring up at Kylo and his ship. And then Kylo going, everybody fire at him. And
everyone unloads.
Yep, and then the dust settles and clears, and you see him just walk forward still and brush his shoulder off, and I could not stop laughing. I was like, God damn it, Luke. Oh, man.
Nice little pop from the theater both times. Actually, just the first time. The second time, everyone was just like, and I didn't know how to process that one. But yeah, people did seem to like that. So then we get the second confrontation here. We get Luke and Kylo.
Yep. Which was a fight I wish lasted longer. I wish we got a little more out of it. Mm-hmm. But it was a good fight scene.
It was a good scene. I wouldn't even really qualify it as a fight scene because it had a completely different purpose. Both in the story and kind of in the presentation of the movie itself. Well, I wouldn't even describe it as a fight scene. But I understand what you're talking about, though. What
I noticed, though, is the big hint to what ends up being the reveal after that scene is the fact that he pulls up his father's saber to fight Kylo.
Yeah, no, everyone in the theater at both showings, when he pulled that one up, was like, huh? Because because one thing that we didn't touch on here was back in the Rey and Kylo confrontation, that closes off by them both trying to force pull the saber to themselves and breaking it apart because they were pulling on it.
Yeah, they broke that saber.
So we know that saber's busted, and we see Luke show up with that saber, and it calls into question what's going on here. And we get through that fight or that scene, and we kind of realize, and Poe points this out very quickly. He realizes what's going on. He's only there to cover their retreat, but he doesn't see it entirely. He's only there to cover their retreat. Air quotes. He's only air quotes there.
Yeah, and the reveal is made that he's actually not physically there. He's still back on the planet he's on, fucking connecting with the fastest internet you could ever get in the galaxy.
Fantastic shot also, just like the running slash, and Luke just turns around looking just fine, and then steps forward with the saber, just puts it straight in his chest, and nothing's happening to him, and that's then smash cut right to Luke floating above the rock, concentrating like shit, just to force project himself all the way over there, halfway across the galaxy.
Looking like he has the worst case of constipation I have ever seen someone have.
Another thing you can point out in that scene, or you can try and call out to it, is that his hair is shorter on Crate than it is in the rest of the movie.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, oh, hey, he cut his hair. That's all I took it as, he cut his hair.
Yeah, and you can think of it, you can watch it and say, oh, he cut his hair. Wait, he has a different saber. What?
Yeah,
But
like there was little hints here and there the entire time that he's there that he's not actually. I thought that was cool.
Mhm.
That was really good. That was really well done.
so, and then the thing. So he said he drops one of the coolest lines in the franchise. Also, is just see a kid disappears from crate, and it cuts back to him back on. I don't remember the name of the planet they're on, but it cuts back to him on that island, and he just drops from the float from floating in that concentration. He just drops, and you're like, oh,
yeah. No, I knew that was coming, and then what I thought was a really great shot is just how he gets back up and he's just kind of like standing there / sitting on that rock still. You see his cloak or his hood just float off.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer there.
So yeah.
I understand that like it took a lot of effort.
I liked it.
I thought it was fantastic.
It took a lot of effort, and I think he also, after the thing that happened with him and Ben, I think he cut himself off from the Force completely.
Well, he did.
Yeah.
Ray addresses that earlier.
Yeah, and the fact that he had to pretty much use it and fully bend it to his what he wants to get done after not being connected probably put a huge strain on him, and that's why we get what we get, which was a good send off. Before we get to like the end of it, though, some people were really upset with the fact that Admiral Akbar just kind of like is gone, and you don't really see him go. Like it's just like, oh, they're gone. We lost them.
He was in the
and
scene.
some people. Is there a scene?
He's in the scene. He's in the background of that scene.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't seeing stuff because I went into that movie knowing about that complaint, and I wanted to see if it was like valid or not, in my opinion. And I saw the scene, and I was like, "Wait, are they talking about Akbar? Or are they talking about somebody else?" Like I was trying to figure it out.
But yeah, we kind of right after Luke. That's almost the end of the movie. There.
Yeah.
We see everyone pretty much in dire straits here, board the Millennium Falcon, and fly off. And the entire Resistance, everything that's left of the Resistance, fits inside the Millennium Falcon.
Yep.
And they fly off to parts we don't know yet, possibly searching for allies. And things look pretty bad here.
Because they for help. And everyone got it,
but nobody. It's when you send the message in the chat, and you see that everybody saw the thing, but they didn't reply. And you're
when
like,
she left you on red.
Yeah, it's just like fuck you guys, man. All you guys suck. I wanted to play X-Wing, but nobody wants to respond to the message. Everybody saw it. Nobody wants to.
But yeah, I also like the fact that there was that final moment where Ray and Ben look at each other. And it's just,
And I didn't realize it the first time, but yeah, they have that connection thing happen again with Snoke gone.
Yep.
It's like he created the link, but he wasn't fully controlling it, which means it's very likely he didn't know some of those conversations did take place.
Yeah.
More than likely. And he also may have created a new facet of how the Force works.
Mm-hmm. Like, that's definitely the first time I saw it, so yeah.
And the way how Luke explains it to Rey, it's completely feasible because like he said it himself when he decided to go burn the books and stuff that the old way of looking at it is wrong essentially. So I didn't know how I felt about the movie until I got have a really weird ass dream and a nap about it. And wake up and sit here and go, oh yeah, we got to do a potty. Like I literally woke up like 5 seconds before you messaged me asking if I was home.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And so I woke up because I had a dream. Thought about it while I ate quickly, and I was like, yeah, no, I actually really enjoyed the movie. There's some things that I don't like that happened in it. It's okay. It's like that with every Star Wars movie. Overall, I feel like this is a really good movie. It's still a solid Star Wars movie. A lot of the key important beats that needed to be hit were hit, as far as from what I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited to see episode 9.
So when I first came out of the theater, I didn't know what to think.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately talked with everyone that watched at the same time I did. If anybody else watched it that same night, I waited until they were out of the theater, discussed it with them. The very next day, I had my second viewing. I rediscussed it with most of the people that I talked with the first day, and also talked with people that watched it that second day. The third day, I had a full-on discussion with a whole group of people that had finally gotten around to seeing it. That was Saturday. Sunday, I didn't have that many conversations, but I did discuss it briefly a couple times. Today is Monday that we're recording this. I have a chat that literally just blew up because while we're recording this podcast, one of the guys got out of the theater, and now everyone in that chat has seen it, so we can discuss it. So I have to check in on that in a little bit. So two viewings and multiple hours of discussion on this movie, and I still don't know what my full opinion on it is. But I can say this much: I think it's okay. I think it doesn't really stand out that much to me. Less because of like what they do as a story. What they do in the context of Star Wars. It has more to do, for me, with the fact that I was fucking bored for a good percentage of that movie, honestly. And there was a lot of people that agree with me on that there was some really boring shit going on for that movie. Me personally, everything that happens, everything from Leia Poppins to right before the throne room scene, with the exception of any scene that included Rey, Kylo, or Luke. Everything between that bored me. Like it felt like it dragged, and I really feel. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much gonna say probably what you were thinking or something close to it. I really think this movie was marred by its editing.
No, it really was. They could have cut out half of the side story of Finn and Rose and still have kept the important bits, and it would have flowed better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So the highs that this movie had were really high.
The highs were sky high. Some of the best moments in the franchise. You have that right.
Fantastic.
The lows were kind of not low as in this sucks, just kind of okay.
For me, it did. I did not like the casino, and I absolutely despise the context of the space chase, which took place for 75% of the movie. So
yeah, weird that this movie only took place over a span of 2 days,
a couple days, and it happened immediately after episode 7.
Yeah, and I don't know.
We're literally 2 movies in, and it's Force Awakens took place over a longer period of time.
Yeah, I felt like though if you sped up the time, or started at a different point, maybe the movie could have been better. But I don't know. I feel like some of the character growths and some of the stories that were told in this movie were kind of important.
Mm.
That's just me. Mainly the Ben, Rey, Luke, and Snoke. Yeah, that was super important to get in there, and I get why this movie is here. It's mainly for that. Also for the growth of Poe. Which again, at the beginning of the movie, why he was commander. Like Jesus Christ, that dude can fly an X-wing. But again, I like the casino because it was just different. Mm-hmm. Like they had like the racetrack and stuff, but I felt like they just hung out there a little too long.
Yeah, it was definitely too long, and I've heard people say that they enjoyed it because it added some world building to it.
Yeah, that's why I like it.
Which is okay, except that I don't know if that is I don't know if that one was interesting enough to leave in.
I felt like for how long we were there, the payoff we get at the end wasn't enough. Like if it was like if we spent less time there
Mm-hmm.
to see that little kid, force pull a broom to him to sweep up, would have been a little nicer, a little bit better. But it just goes to show that things aren't over.
Yeah. So I'm mostly at an okay for the movie. Phil, where are you kind of sitting at?
I liked it, not as much as I think Rogue One is probably I like it more than the original ones.
Agreed.
Rogue One is probably my favorite Star Wars movie so far.
Overall?
Out of the new
ones. Yes, I agree on out of the new ones.
I like it better than the originals.
You're weird.
I don't know. I don't know if I can agree with that.
I liked it. I liked it more than Return of the Jedi, but not as much as Force Awakens.
Doesn't take much to beat Return of the Jedi. Doesn't take much to beat Ewoks.
I still say overall I like 8 more than 7.
I disagree. I definitely like 7 more than 8 at this point.
I think for me it's just because, like Phil said, when the highs hit, the highs are in the stratosphere, and I really enjoyed that a lot.
I think, well, those highs are definitely they're astronaut. They're like like they're gone. Like they're out of orbit and shit. They're freaking way the hell up there. Some of the best moments in the franchise are in this movie. But there's also like some 40-45 minutes of the movie that I just
no, and I completely understand that. But I feel like they shouldn't have made this episode 8. It should have just been Star Wars: The Last Jedi. The story between the two, and that
would have been weird.
It would have been, but I don't know. Just because of how immediate it happens, I feel like it would have been a better received overall.
There's one thing I can say for this movie. I can definitely see why they gave Rian Johnson the shot at just doing a whole damn trilogy.
Oh yeah,
because it's different. It's got risk. It's got huge moments. Change the editor for me personally, but I can definitely see why they brought him on board for another set.
No, definitely. Is it alright if we name drop? Because there's a tuber that I actually went and decided to look at his review after seeing the movie, and I actually almost completely disagree with him. He's prominent in the Star Wars, especially because he's a local.
Oh, who?
Angry Joe.
Well, Angry Joe's angry about everything. So why would he be happy about that?
Oh, he has a lot of complaints about.
Well, I would say what are the complaints, but I also wanted to do a bit where I kind of list off every, just like itemize every complaint that I've heard about the movie, and we can just combine those into one bit here.
Yeah, let's just do that. One of them was the Akbar thing.
Yes, I hear a lot of people complaining about the death or the unceremonious and it's almost unaddressed death of Admiral Gale Akbar.
But listen, war gets dirty.
War gets dirty. That's
that's my defense. They didn't have time to really address it. Like sometimes you go very quickly.
Yeah,
and you're gone. Like there's no big ordeal. Like not every character can have a scene where they get to go out in a big last hurrah. Sometimes you're just gone.
Yep,
that's life. So.
A lot of people to that specific issue were saying that they should have put him in place of who they use, Admiral Holdo. To which I say, you don't know two things here. One, the voice actor for Admiral Akbar has been dead for a while, like pretty soon after 7. So you're not going to want to see him on screen that long because you're going to think it's weird because he sounds different, and then that's what you're going to complain about. And two, while not like, not as aggressive as what Poe shows himself to be in the beginning of the movie, he is also an aggressive person and would not have played that foil to Poe well at all, because he probably would have agreed with him in some of those aspects. So it wouldn't have worked. And when they can't make a major role for you, and you got something else to do, and your actor's dead, well, shit, might as well just kill him off. And I personally believe that the scene where we get Leia Poppins, I personally believe that I think we lost Phil. I just got a message from him. But
yeah, we just lost him. I heard him drop.
It's fine. We'll cover for him. But I personally believe that the scene that we got Leia Poppins in was done after her death. That it was added in later, and that I believe that the original happening for that scene would have been that her force sensitivity kind of hints at her what's coming, and she starts to get everybody off. She tries to get people off of the bridge. She gets to the airlock, and the shit happens, and it closes, and I don't know, maybe you see Ackmore right there. Like that, I think that might have been something similar to what that scene might have been before they cut it to what we got. If I didn't make it better. Yeah, if I didn't make it clear earlier, I did not like that scene at all.
No, that scene was really out of place. I really didn't like it. Like, I saw that happen.
I shook my head. A lot of people did like it. I did not.
Well, I mean, like, and I'm going to say this, and this is not coming from a place of anywhere like malicious. We're in an age where empowering women is going to sell tickets, unfortunately.
Which leads me to my next point. There is actually a very large percentage of people that feel like this was a very feminist piece, and I can see why they can think that, because
right.
I mean, of course, we have a female lead. We have Leia playing a very prominent role, and when she goes down temporarily, she is replaced by another very strong character woman who kind of speaks down to Poe and kind of teaches him something different about himself.
Because I actually went on that journey with Poe, because I was like, man, fuck this lady. Like, who the fuck gives her the right to do? And then when you see how things turn out, it's like, oh, taking a risky move doesn't always pay off.
I agree almost 90% with you there, because especially about how I felt. Because initially, I hated the shit out of Holdo. And honestly, I really don't think that highly of Holdo at all. I think that she might have been written a little weird. Something about her was just threw me off. And it wasn't really the talking down thing. I did think that Poe kind of needed that lesson. It became immediately evident as soon as the first thing Leia does to Poe when he's back on the ship is slap him and demote him. Okay, it's like, all right, I know where that's going. So I agree with talking down to him and trying to put him in his place and teach him a lesson. I didn't like Holdo, probably because she played the bitch too good.
Well, that means the actress did her job.
Oh yeah, it's probably that she probably did the exact job that was intended in me hating her, but she kind of redeemed to me. She pulls off one of the fucking greatest moves in the franchise. So I'm like, you know what? That's all right.
Listen, like what she does is essentially like what I called like what I feel like is like a Gurren Lagann moment in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic moment.
Yeah, and she really redeems herself, and it's just like I don't hate you now, and I didn't see it from the same perspective as Leia and Holdo did.
Yeah,
and once that was like shown to Poe and to me, and I was just like, oh, this movie, I give the movie a good rating for the most part. Like, I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, even though it happened in a span of 2 days, we still got a lot of character growth and progression, and that's really my bread and butter. That's what I love. So I really enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
The whole side thing at the casino was dragged on abysmally long. Like, they could have cut at least maybe 20 minutes out of that.
Yeah,
I still have too much.
I am almost and that's probably the next complaint, is that we have a lot of people that hated the entire casino arc altogether. I am pretty much of that camp. Like, I think that it shouldn't even have been. It should have been something done completely different. It made no sense for me for them to contact Maz Kanata to try and get somebody to get them onto the ship or whatever. That whole arc was boring and made no sense to me.
Right.
And I think it should have been completely rewritten, which speaks to a problem in the writing to me. I also think the same thing about the space chase. A lot of people kind of agree with that as well. Thankfully, both of those two arcs were overlaid with Rey's training, which all of those scenes I loved. So I was able to get through that part of the movie without having to get up and go to the restroom or get more popcorn or something like that.
You know what would have been fine with the space chase is they just made it more interesting. If they just had the fuel to keep jumping and they keep trying to do something to evade them.
Yeah,
like they jump and then decide to sling around a planet's gravity to lose them.
I agree.
And they jump again.
I fully agree.
If they did that while getting all that done, it would have made more like, oh hey, we're nearby this planet where we can get our plan done, but not by contacting Maz Kanata. Like I agree with you 100%. That was really out of nowhere.
Yeah,
really kind of forced into the movie, and I want to find a reasoning for it to be in there, and I really can't. There's no rhyme or reason for it, and I don't know how you would go about to rewriting that to where where it is. Maybe they could have just done a thing where they could have easily have done the Star Trek thing from the new Star Trek movies and been like, don't we have a master code breaker on ship somewhere? And they look up the log and like, yeah, he should be here. And Finn just goes running through the entire ship looking for him. You could have done that for like 10, 15 minutes, finds the guy and go, okay, you're going to get us on this ship. And I need you to do it pretty much now. And they rocket off to get to the ship.
Yeah.
I would have liked that more.
It needed to be. It was bad. It was just bad. That part was. So kind of next bit that was, I guess, slightly related to the casino bit. I had at least one. I think two people that complained about sort of the presence of preaching about animal cruelty or whatever with the whole racing animals, and I thought that they just read too much into that. It's there, but it wasn't like that part didn't feel ham-fisted to me, so I was like, it didn't bother me.
I don't feel like that there was any preaching going on. But then again, you put anything into a movie or semi-controversial, people are gonna go, "Oh, why are you making a big old stint about this?" It's like
anything with a social stance or a stance on any particular issue, or even something that relates to a type of issue, might get that reaction. We are living in the information in the internet age, so everyone just has easier access to complain about that. Other things that we had the complaints of, I mentioned this earlier. Some people didn't like the choreography. It doesn't bother me because I believe it's easily explained. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just an apologist. I don't know. But I feel like it's
something.
Yeah, you saw that tweet, right? It's like anytime that you approach something with, anytime you take a moderate or try to take a moderate or well-informed approach to something, you become a insert word here ist, or a blind follower. So and it becomes that situation. So and like I said, there was
because God forbid you take a neutral stance on.
God forbid that you take a neutral stance on anything. So, I mean, you had people that were saying, feminism that or whatnot, or racism because you're not liking this diverse cast or whatnot, or racism because you're saying, don't prioritize this diversity or whatever. So you get that from all over the place, really.
All I'm going to say is for that, diversity for diversity's sake is bad. Okay.
I do actually agree with that. I personally agree when you prioritize that, you're like, shouldn't you prioritize the story?
Right. You're constraining how your story goes from there on out. You're constraining how your characters are from there on out. And I think that fundamental problems with the new Star Wars movie that I kind of have I have a little bit of an issue with.
I don't think it's a huge glaring issue for me
No.
personally. I just think that it's like it really shouldn't be like the first thing ahead of story.
No, exactly.
And a lot of people seem to call
The
for
bigger
that.
thing that I have an issue with is the fact that, and this is going back to episode 7, is the fact that Finn is a stormtrooper, right? And he turned. And you would think that they would have taken some time of Finn not wanting to shoot other troopers because he knows they're human beings.
Oh, he went there quick, bro.
Yeah, they. That's my problem with episode 7, and why I kind of like 8 a little more is because 7 touches the surface of stuff like that, and it's like, why don't you just go full on in depth with that? Why didn't you have that arc happen throughout the whole movie of Finn? Like, no, we can find a solution without having to blow up the base and having to kill these guys. Rey, what are you doing? Han, why? Like he could have made a bigger deal out of it, but they didn't do that because, God forbid, you slow this story down. Because that's my other thing with 7 is that story jumps quick, man.
That is, I had this conversation with Albert. Albert's who I went with to watch it the first time, and I think I'm actually for Star Wars movies, I'm going to go ahead and just pay for his ticket and bring him along with me because he can. If I'm way up here, like if I'm like on the ceiling with excitement, he can bring me back down to earth and help me analyze shit like a little bit more, realistically. And I respect that because he's a little bit more of a cynic than I'm a cynic. I'm kind of cynical about stuff, and he was even more cynical about stuff than me. And he also doesn't care about Star Wars that much anymore ever since the whole, being purchased or whatever.
That's kind of how Royal is about everything.
Yeah, so he can help me out with that. So I'm gonna take him anytime I go to see one of these Star Wars movies on opening night, because he just helps me see shit like that. And we kind of made that discussion how 7 was like lightning fast, and this one just
so fast.
Had this. It was it was a lot slower, and then like I said a million times on this podcast alone, is just that one section just dragged because it was so boring for me.
This movie had a good pace the entire time, and then you get to that planet, the casino, and it just it really slows down, and it's just like, come on.
Yeah.
Do we really need to, you introduce this one character that's going to show up in the next movie because whatever. Like, what? I don't even care for that other guy that ends up getting him off that planet. It's just,
I thought he was interesting enough. I don't really care about whether or not we see him again, but I thought he was interesting enough.
I honestly could have cared less. They could have replaced him with a chicken duck woman thing.
Okay, so other complaints that I've heard about the movie, and this is generally something that pretty much anybody that said it about this movie probably said it about anything from MCU, was the level of humor or the amount of humor that was in it. They felt it was excessive. Some people actually didn't like any of the jokes. I mean, if you don't like any of the jokes, that's more of that's your taste or your preference kind of thing. If you don't like the presence of it, I'm sorry, but The Force Awakens and the entire MCU has now market tested it for Disney that humor is going to be in these movies. Now, there's less in Star Wars than there is in MCU, but there is definitely a formula that they're going to be experimenting with.
Listen, go watch John Wick. You're still going to get humor. You're going to get moments that make you laugh. And John Wick is a revenge film. Dread is a revenge film, and you get humor out of that too. Like, humor is something that is needed to kind of elevate the serious moments of your movie. So you got a way to dial and ramp up back and forth, Yeah. Because if you're full blown serious through the entire movie, you get orphan fight.
Orphan fight?
Orphan fight. Think about it.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, but you know what movie I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, actually.
Batman v Superman.
I didn't watch that for reasons.
Well, watch it, and you'll see what happens when you have no... Okay. Seriously. With the right balance of humor and seriousness, you get a really good movie. They are the yin and the yang. You got to have them there. If you don't like it, then You don't like movies.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a lot of people that did have a problem either with its quality or its presence at all. But to them, that's going to be preference, I think. And unfortunately, they're just going to have to realize that it is here to stay.
Also, it's a different director and writers, so the humor is different.
Not only that, but we're seeing directors and writers, and Star Wars has to be accessible to kids because guess where the money actually comes in?
I know.
It has to be accessible, which means it's got to be funny. So it's going to be...
Which is why you got the scene of Finn walking around with just liquid squirting out of him when he wakes up.
That I didn't laugh at, but, there was a lot of other funny bits.
Yeah, but a kid's going to see that and laugh because
you're going to get the slapstick. Actually, the reason I didn't like that one is because Finn played it entirely straight, so it felt weird. Because he's straight faced the entire time, and he just says, "Where's Rey?" like completely seriously. So it kind of weirds me out because he doesn't address anything else that's going on. So it's it was weird to me, but whatever. That's humor is different for everyone.
I thought it was great slapstick because he was taking it so seriously. I felt like that was really great. It kind of reminded me a little bit of the older the silent films kind of way of humor, where the kid, the main character's not aware that he's got a kick me sign and he's being very serious in the scene. It's kind of like that. I felt and I thought it was funny. It didn't make me outright laugh, but I blew air out of my nose really hard.
So let's see the other complaints. I've covered most of them. The other ones deal with specific characters. We already touched Akbar and Holdo. We didn't touch... A lot of people I've heard actually do not like Rose. Now, I like Rose as a character. I just think that the plot she was involved in was lame.
That was another complaint I saw too. People just didn't like Rose at all. And I don't know, she's fine. I think she was great, actually. She's a very good... she was good foil to Finn. And I just felt my complaint when it comes to Finn's character is I feel like they just didn't know what to do with him for the movie. It's either he was constantly asking, "Where's Rey?" And then all of a sudden he's off doing this mission, that's it. He had no actual presence in what was going on. He was more concerned with just taking care of himself and making sure Rey was okay.
Yeah. There's kind of that feel.
There was no progression to his character, and I felt like that was really weak. Considering you see everybody else's characters make a growth in this movie, big growths in this movie.
So let's see, what else do we have? People not liking Leia Poppins. We've already addressed that. We both agreed that
Mary Poppins, y'all.
I would prefer Yondu than that. Yes.
I'm gonna grab that scene where she does that. I'm gonna put Yondu's face on her. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all, and just fly back.
All right, so moving on. A lot of people actually didn't like. A lot of people didn't like Poe's little development arc, probably because there might be some ism going on there. Who knows? But you seem to like it. I would have liked it more if that scene was written. That whole arc was written different, because, like I said, it was boring to me. It should have been done differently, personally. But otherwise, I thought Poe getting a little bit of development was nice, especially considering he had next to nothing the first time around.
I do agree with Phil, though, that we really don't have a backstory to Poe other than the fact that he's just this shot. And it's just... I wanted some more backstory to him, but the focus of this movie obviously was Rey and Ben and exploring what happened between Luke and Ben. And why.
Personally, I'm actually okay with leaving it at, he's the hotshot of the Republic. I'm perfectly fine leaving it like that.
Well, yeah, because we didn't get any backstory from Han Solo, other than that he's a smuggler.
He's a smuggler. Yeah. And
so I'm okay with that too. Not every character needs to be fully fleshed out.
Yeah, I want more, but I'm okay with it.
What I would like to see is them do some pre-episode 7 stuff with Poe, of him and his first squad. Mm-hmm. And just them doing running and gunning through the space for the rebels.
What else do we got here? Some more character-specific stuff going down the list. I really didn't see many... of course, I did see complaints about Rey because they're upset about the parentage thing. It doesn't bother me. I already said that I thought it was brave. I thought it was risky, and I appreciated it. But everyone has their opinions.
I'm gonna go watch it again, and I'll see if I still have the same opinion. Because I don't know. I guess it might be coming from the fact that I had a pre-existing notion of that she had to have some sort of tether to the Force through her lineage, because it would explain a lot about her. But like you said, the message of this movie is it doesn't matter where you come from. You can be whatever you want, which is the whole message of this movie.
I wouldn't say that's the whole message. I'd say that that's one of the nested ones, but there's actually the most important one. I think we'll close out with that.
But it's one of the messages that's there, and it's just like
it's definitely one of the important ones. I'll get to at least what I think is the most important message of the movie after we get kind of through the rest of the characters. Snoke, a lot of people upset that there was just no information on what, who, where, why. We kind of talked about that already, but there's a lot of people upset about that.
Again, we don't need to know where he came from. I know forever ago, I made the joke that it was going to be fucking Mace Windu. Remember when I told you that?
Yeah, and I went off on you. Yeah.
Yeah, you yelled at me, and I was just like, I thought it was funny. Fuck you. I would have hated it if that's actually what they did. Honestly, it was me just kind of fucking around.
I'm fine with it being a nobody or no one that we've seen before, a completely new person. But tell me where he came from, because like I mentioned earlier, I know how the First Order began, and I have nothing to go on from who was the first leader of the First Order to 30 years later. Now it's Snoke, and I have nothing to go on, and I want to know what's happening in that time frame because nobody's writing about that time frame.
I feel like they're purposely leaving like information like that out so they can visit it later with another movie.
I'm sure that's what's going on.
It's all about printing that money, man.
Yep. So let's see who else. Kylo. A lot of people still not liking Kylo. I think he got more than. I think he got a good amount of development in it. Some people didn't think he got anything.
I actually hated the fact that he destroys his helmet. I actually thought that was a really cool aspect of his costume.
I really like the helmet. I know.
Yeah. But it serves a purpose of showing that he himself doesn't know what he wants or doesn't know how he really feels. The conflict is in him, and they showed that.
Mm-hmm. And we got a lot of people that were upset, I guess, at the combination really of him and Hux, saying that they feel, and I understand this, and I almost completely back their argument. That they feel that there is no real threat here because both Hux and Kylo are such incompetent leaders that how can you actually feel the fear of the First Order here? I mean, aside from the fact that you have nothing to fight against them with anymore because you've lost everything, like this isn't like a terrifying villain, and a lot of people actually need that. So it's kind of absent, and I understand that, but it is kind of what it is.
Well, what I also did like from this movie, if I don't mind taking a step back to what I did like the fact that they showed conflict among the rebels again, like more so with Poe and what's her name?
Holdo.
I did like that. Holdo, even though people kind of complained about it, I thought that was good. It shows that the Rebel Alliance isn't squeaky clean. Because no one group is ever squeaky clean in a confrontation or in a war.
Yeah.
And I also like the fact that they're building that up for the Empire, the New Order between Hux and Kylo. Like they're gonna butt heads hard in the next movie. You know it.
For sure, they already are.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's gonna get even, and it's gonna be one of those things of like, I don't know, if it's done right, it'll be good. It'll be good storytelling and good growth. I still say that I really wanted to see it happen just because I wanted my outlandish claim that Rey and Kylo were going to swap, and Rey was going to go to the dark side. I actually really wanted that to happen because it looked like it was kind of going to happen.
Nah, they don't have that many balls. They don't have that many balls.
It would have been great though, like if they both ended up on the opposite end of the comic at the end of it.
For how many risks we got in this movie, like it would have fucking the world would have exploded if they actually did that.
But they could have done that with how they reveal, like if they revealed her lineage and not just being from like just junkers. Like if they tied her to like somehow Palpatine or something, or some like great Sith Lord. I felt like that would have pushed her in one direction or the other. And I don't know. I felt like you could have used that moment to make her flip sides, and I felt like I think that's where I have my distaste for that scene, where I feel like they played it safe, because I felt like they could have done something more with it. But that's just me.
That's fair. What else we got? Going down the list. Oh, actually, a quick thing that kind of bothered me is when exactly they switched from being the Resistance to actually accepting themselves as being the rebellion, because it goes back to not really having that explanation of what the hell happened in those 25-30 years. How did they actually establish that much of a control on the galaxy, where the Resistance, which is just the military arm of the Republic, goes to being rebels in the time span of those couple of days, because they are acknowledging themselves as the Resistance up until a couple scenes later, when one of the First Order people calls them rebels, and then magically everybody on the Resistance side refers to themselves as rebels, not the Resistance anymore.
Yeah, that was a little weird,
and it bothered me really badly.
Yeah. Again, there's a lot of little things in this movie that just kind of brought it down. Like,
yeah, there's a good fan edit coming out of this within the next couple of years. I know it.
Yeah, it's going to be from me, and it's going to have Yondu in it as General Organa.
I've already downvoted it. So let's see, other characters. We did have some people upset that Luke went out in the fashion that he did, because they can't respect Luke going out in anything but an awesome fight.
Oh, come on now! Like, especially with what what ended up happening, he panicked, man. He freaked out and saw that one of his pupils was gonna fucking become, he had that darkness in him. And he panicked because he had that darkness in him when he was being trained.
I am
dealing with
300% okay with what happened with Luke. I am 300% okay with his entire arc in this. I thought Mark Hamill did a stellar job in this.
Oh, he did fantastic. And anybody who wants now, Luke should have gone fighting, blah blah blah. No, with everything that's happened, and when he panicked and decided that he was going to possibly kill Ben, and in that moment, he decided he wasn't going to. That's all it takes, man. It's one misunderstanding. That's all it takes in the real world and in the world of science fiction, science fantasy, really. But it just it made sense. It's a good way. I loved it. How better a way to flex your fucking force muscles than fucking astral projecting yourself across the galaxy.
Exactly.
Again, on the galaxy's greatest internet connection, for real.
Right. Probably the only other question or maybe possible issue that I had with it is the actual timing of what's going on in the movie, because we know it's happening within the span of 2 days, right. Because we see two night times kind of occur there on the island. And I'm like, wait, what's the exact timing? What's going on? Because they said they have 16 hours of fuel left specifically in one
they
scene.
Had 18. They had 18 hours.
Okay, so it's like now at some point, once I have this like on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, I'm going to sit down, watch it with a freaking notepad and actually try and figure that out. Because I don't think I'm going to go to the theater a third time to try and figure that out, because I'm going to want popcorn and I'm going to be distracted. Or I'm going to go to Alamo Drafthouse and I'm going to get loaded fries and I'm going to be distracted because I also have a beer.
Yeah, you're going to get your notepad all sticky.
Yeah, it's going to have to wait until it's actually home video for me to figure that one out. Or maybe someone has already watched it 5 times and done the math for me on Reddit or something. Who knows? But that's a question I have, though.
You can literally just post that in the subreddit.
I'm sure somebody will answer it, but I also don't feel like posting anything. So with that, I think that's pretty much all the complaints that I personally have heard about the movie, either directly from somebody that I know or somewhere online.
But my response to a lot of that is like, listen, you can't get good story without there being risk and people losing people. Like, that's what happens in war. That's what happens. Like, eventually you're going to lose important characters. That's why I was a little not okay. I'm okay, but not okay with the fact that Rose saves Finn, because I felt like if Finn had done that and died, taking that thing out, okay, that would have been fine for me. And I know that wouldn't be good for anybody else. You probably would disagree with me, but it just they still haven't figured out what they're going to do with him.
Yeah.
Like that's what bothers me.
And
if they sent him out that way, it's like, okay, he served his purpose.
And I think that's kind of I think it's a close enough segue actually to what I feel, and I think a couple other people probably feel this too, and maybe you'll agree with me. What I feel the main theme of the movie, maybe not the message, but the main theme of the movie, and that is failure. Because every single character in this movie fails at something in the course of the movie. Luke fails Ben. Luke fails Rey. Rey fails to convert Luke and fails to find her own parentage. Snoke fails in getting Rey killed because he gets himself killed. Poe fails and loses half of the resistance.
In that bombing run.
Finn fails in trying to give himself to save the rest of the thing. And now he's going to end up with survivor's guilt. I think that's going to be a major thing that we see in episode 9, actually. Everyone has a failure, a major failure happen to them. And it's going to be, how do they bounce back from that? Some people get their redemption in the same movie. Luke gets it like right at the end. He failed Kylo, and that led to a lot of these events that are going on. And he kind of he goes and redeems himself a little bit by saving what's left of the resistance, what's left of the rebellion against the First Order. Because they would have gone in there and just wiped them in a couple minutes.
Yeah. So, no, exactly. And my only thing with the scene we got with Luke, I love it. I think it was fantastic. But I would have loved it if he was actually there and he just started like force crushing AT-ATs with one hand. Like, that would have been awesome. Completely out of scope and way overpowered than what you would see normally, but it would have been cool.
I don't know. I think the bringing down the Star Destroyer with the Force thing is back in canon.
Oh yeah,
I think so. Don't quote me on it, but I think it is.
But you know, that would have been. I would have also been a really great way to him walk out and just start force crushing or returning, like reflecting the blast back with the Force, like kind of doing what Kylo does in 7.
Yeah,
in the beginning scene. But anyways, I do agree with you 100%. Failure was the main theme of this whole movie, and coping with it and moving on from it.
Yep, moving on, finding that redemption, being able.
And I think that's why a lot of people don't like this movie, because I had a coworker tell me that he thought it was boring and it went nowhere. And I told him, I was like, I don't know about that. I'm gonna go watch it.
It definitely did not go nowhere. Like everything, a lot of fucking shit changed in this goddamn movie. Like, this is a very, very loaded movie as far as, like, if you boil it down to just the bullet points of what happened in this movie. It's right. Like, holy fuck. Like, that chat that I was talking about, the one that's going off right now, earlier, before the last person had seen it, we were doing some quick discussions on things that were not quite spoilers because they weren't the main plot events of the movie. And we were mentioning them, and they were like, no, you're spoiling the movie. It's like, these aren't the main plot events of the movie. They're like, what? How? You just mentioned a bunch of shit that's like super serious. They're not even the main plot events of this movie. a lot of shit happens. Now, I do agree that some of it was boring to me personally. A lot of people agree also, and that's just
like
that's going to be a different case, one or the other. I mean, it's an extremely divisive movie on what people think.
All they need to do is when they release their movie, is it has to have two different versions: the original theatrical release and the final cut. And the final cut, all it has to be is that they cut 25 minutes out of that side story. That's it.
That might work, actually.
That is it. Like, if once I get my hands on that movie, that's all I'm going to do with it. I'm going to cut 25 minutes out of that side story, show it to you again, and you're going to watch it and go, damn, that's a good movie. I guarantee it. Just from watching it today, that's where I saw the problems, was in the side story. It was just too much.
And you do have the freshest opinion of this cast, because my last view was Friday, having it also on Thursday, and Phil just watched on Thursday. So you do have the freshest opinion coming right out of the theater there and taking a nap and then doing the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, to say that nothing happened in this movie or that it went nowhere is fucking insane. Like, that person is a dumbass.
That's exactly what my coworker said. And I'm gonna go to work tomorrow. Or actually, no, I won't see him tomorrow. On Wednesday, let's see him Wednesday. I'm gonna be like, you are an idiot.
Yeah, it's an extremely divisive movie, partly because of the things that it does, but also because the way that it does them. I think that editing is a big problem in this movie. I think that the movie ends up still being okay because its high moments are huge and its main plot events are also huge. I just have a problem with the way it's done, the way it's cut and stuff like that. So I think it's okay though.
My cat woke up from his cat nap.
Oh, hi, cat.
Yeah, he's in my arms right now. say hi, Deku. You don't want to talk now?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Well, we went over the movie. Stuff was watched.
Oop.
I'm gonna put one more thing back in here that's kind of partly related. Battlefront 2 sucks.
Boop. Battlefront 2 sucks.
Battlefront 2 is a suck. 2-minute load screens anytime you change game modes. No, thank you. And Mr. Sir, you do not bridge the gap from episode 6 to 7. Stop telling me that you bridged the gap from episode 6 to 7. I just watched the story DLC thing that came out like right at the day of the movie. I just watched that campaign. It adds nothing really. It's just okay, cool, whatever. Well, whatever.
You want down now? You want down? You want down? You want down? Okay.
Meow.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it, cat.
I was booping him on the nose. I had him cradled like a baby, and I was just booping him on the nose.
All right. Well, that was.
What's up?
That was Star Wars.
Yeah, that was our opinions on Star Wars. Anybody who ends up, listening in, give us your opinions. Why not? Let's have a discussion, and let's get angry at each other.
Get at us.
Yeah. Fight me IRL, fam.
We'll see you bitches in like May or June, because the next movie coming out is a Star Wars story.
Oh boy.
That is at the end of May. It's actually really close.
How much you want to bet they're going to get Harrison Ford to come back for the end? Because the end of the movie is going to be like tied into the beginning of like 7 somehow. Just watch.
I will bet exactly $0 because Harrison Ford does not want to be Han Solo anymore. He didn't want to be Han Solo for episode 7. He wanted him to die in the original trilogy. He's not going to come back. He's done with the character.
Yeah.
He's not coming back.
Yeah, okay. Let's go with that.
He's not coming back.
And with that, we'll go ahead and bring this podcast to an end, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. We're going to be putting this on.